Hi everyone, this is Prashad Parthiban. Today I am going to explain what do you mean by personal umbrella insurance. So the other name of personal umbrella insurance is excess liability policy. The name itself very clearly says it gives excess liability limit apart from the underlying policy. So I have given a very clear example. Say you are a customer, ABC customer, you have homeowners policy, you have personal auto policy, you have watercraft policy. Assume each one of them are individual policies. It could be from one customer or one carrier or other insurance carrier. So each policy has its own liability coverage. If you see homeowners, it has bodily injury liability for 100k, property damage for 200. Similarly, personal auto has 150k and then the property damage of 250k. Watercraft, it has 100k and then property damage of 300k. Most of you know, in reality, sometimes the limits that we need for liability could be more than what we have in the underlying policy. Every underlying policy has a maximum limit, maybe 300 or 400 due to the rules and regulations of the insurance company and the Department of Insurance. Now, say example, you have a personal auto scenario, right? You did, due to your fault, somebody else lost their life, right? Now their dependents cannot earn for the entire lifetime. So in that case, the existing bodily injury of 150k or property damage of 250k may not even be sufficient from your side. So you will be in a scenario where you have to put a lot of money from your side, right? Similarly, your homeowner's insurance. Say your neighbor is in your home and due to some reason there is a fault at your side and they lost their life or they lost their body parts and they cannot work further. So you have to support them. So there are scenarios like that you cannot control that could result in liability more than 1 million or 2 million. In those scenarios, it is very important you have some kind of policy that covers you. That's where umbrella policy comes in. If you see this diagram very clearly, even for watercraft, right, you have your boat, most of the scenarios due to your collision, somebody else's boat was totally damaged or their life is at risk, then your existing liability coverage of 300k or 100k may not be sufficient. So we have this umbrella policy, which is by name itself, so it's an umbrella for your underlying policy. So beauty of this is you don't need to have 3 different policies for each policy. Example, you don't need to have one umbrella policy for homeowners, one umbrella for personal auto, one umbrella for watercraft. All that you need is one policy that says overall limit. So in this case, 2 million for bodily injury, property injury, 3 million, personal injury. So I'll come to this, right? So in case if it initially what will happen in scenario is if there is a claim, say for 800k, first you need to use your underlying policy. The claim could be due to homeowners, then you will use the 100k of bodily injury and 200k of property damage, and after this is exhausted, used, then you come to personal umbrella policy and use the remaining limit. So same process is applied for personal auto or watercraft. Now umbrella policy is not like just a drop down. When I say drop down, it doesn't just increase the coverage amount alone. Sometimes it gives extra coverage too. For example, slander, libel, like basically what happens, say if you are at an accident and police officer have found that you are guilty. Now you are saying that police officer is lying or is not correct. Then indirectly what you are doing is you are damaging his reputation, right? So he can file a lawsuit on you. So in those cases you have to handle the lawsuit, etc. So in that case, those coverages are not provided by underlying policies. So but personal umbrella can provide some coverage for that. So anything like false arrest or other kinds of personal injury can be covered under umbrella, even though it's not provided under underlying policies. Finally, one thing you have to keep in mind, right? This is all liability stuff, but there is a provision for you to add an endorsement to add uninsured or underinsured coverage, which means say you are in an accident, somebody else caused the accident, but they don't have insurance at all, or they have insurance limit which is very less. So what you can do is you can buy an umbrella policy and add this endorsement uninsured or underinsured for 2 million. In case if they don't have insurance and if you are at a loss, big loss, where you have to take care of your bodily injury or your watercraft or home, etc. So you can use this uninsured or underinsured coverage. So one thing to keep in mind, and this can be added as endorsement. So the overall understanding here is you have underlying policy where your liability limits are not sufficient, then you can use umbrella policy. And the good thing with umbrella is you don't need to have one policy for each individual underlying policy. Overall, one policy can take care of all three underlying policies, and it's not just drop down where you are increasing the limit. Sometimes you can have additional coverages that are not there in the base coverage, like as I told you, personal injury. Plus, you can add an endorsement to add uninsured or underinsured coverage if you need it. This is what I would like to cover today. Once again, thank you for your continuous support. Have a great day. Bye-bye.